Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Oh, what Kinect game is he playing? Dance Central?
He's not playing Kinect.
The Kinect! That thing that Microsoft have been evangelizing since 2010. That thing that never really worked the way they said it would, and save for a handful of really fun games, never really lived up to its potential. That thing that internet hate has been targeting for what seems like the dawn of time? Yeah, well, Microsoft have done everyone a solid and are giving consumers a choice over whether they want to spend their hard-earned cash on one or not. As of June 9th, you will be able to buy a Kinectless version of the Xbox One for $100 cheaper, or 50 quid cheaper if you live in the UK, which is kind of bullshit, but hardware prices in Europe are a discussion for another day. Initially, the system couldn't operate without it plugged in, and now it seems it is a peripheral like any other, like the PlayStation Eye, or the Move, or the Xbox Live Vision camera before it. So first of all, why? Well, there are a number of established truths around Microsoft's new console, which we should probably get out of the way. The Xbox One is being heavily outsold by the cheaper PlayStation 4. Titanfall wasn't the system seller Microsoft hoped it would be. The Kinect is currently very unpopular, and public perception of the Xbox One is that it is overly expensive because it is seemingly being outperformed graphically by the PS4. This decision was probably made in the past few weeks, likely once the April sales figures came in, and with Magic out of the picture, it seems like new Xbox head Phil Spencer is wasting no time in trying to get the beleaguered Microsoft console back on tracks. And let's be honest, announcing this news a month before E3 means that they'll get all the negative headlines out of the way a month before the biggest week in video game news. We're used to these price drops with consoles. In fact, we're used to emergency 1 year after release price drops with consoles. The difference is, to do so, the manufacturers usually take out elements that people actually like backwards compatibility or extra USB ports. But Microsoft have taken out a piece of tech that few people are really going to miss, and if they do, they're free to buy one separately anyway. A Kinectless version of the Xbox One is a good decision. We might even get an interface redesign and some extra performance out of all this too. Hooray for everyone!
So now that we've established that, let's look at the flip side. What does this mean for Kinect adoption rates, and what does it mean for the future of Kinect games?
I'm not the biggest fan of Kinect, but I always had hope for the system. I think it's genuinely useful for navigating this horrible interface on the Xbox One and for stuff like saving highlights using Twitch and Skype and scanning QR codes. But there's no getting around the fact that, save for a handful of games like Dance Central or Happy Action Theatre, Kinect never gave us really good reasons to play with it. Perhaps I'm a victim of Microsoft propaganda, but I was still holding out hope that we'd get some sort of really interesting uses of Kinect this time around. Harmonix, creator of the Dance Central franchise, are currently working on Fantasia Music Evolved, which seems to be using the tech in exciting new ways. Well, it just so happened that head of Harmonix PR John Drake was in town, so I asked him to come over and talk about how the news is going to affect them and the wider Kinect development community.
Well, in exchange for 20 seconds to talk about his Amplitude Kickstarter, but we'll get to that later. First things first, I think I was standing here and... Hi, John.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise, but also not. I mean, people have been speculating that might happen for a while, so kind of roll with that punch.
Yeah, so was this something that you guys maybe were sort of had as an option that might occur some way down the line? Because how many games are you developing for Kinect at this stage?
We have a handful that we've been prototyping or R&D, and we have one game in full-on production, which is Fantasia Music Evolved, which is on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. We've always loved making Kinect games, so I think this doesn't really change that. We still think we can make great games for that system, and there's still people out there who want to buy them.
You're always going to have less people having Kinect now because whoever buys, at least the market share is it's not going to be going as fast as it could have been if everyone was buying it. Is that a problem for you guys in like the types of games that you make? Do you need to make games now that might appeal to a wider amount of people so you can like grab in as many people as possible?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think we want to make the best games for whatever input device we're making, right? We are trying to be the company making some of that great software that hopefully makes people who buy the $400 Xbox One bundle think like, hey, like navigating the menus with my voice and like playing Fantasia Music Evolved is a good enough reason to pick up this camera. If I buy the box in June, maybe I buy the camera, around Christmas or whatever. So I think it's not like a positive news tip for us, but it's also not destructive. I think it's really about making games that motivate people to want to buy good games. I think player choice and consumer choice is always a positive thing. So we don't look at it as a big problem for us as much as we look at it as an opportunity to say, okay, the people who didn't buy that camera in the box, how do we show them a game experience that's so essential that they want to go get that camera?
I feel for the folks at Harmonix. This announcement will undoubtedly put more pressure on them at market, and you have to imagine that other developers are a lot less likely to try and create a game in that space. But as John said, a good enough game will make people want to buy a Kinect, and when you get right down to it, that's what this is all about. That's why people aren't rushing to the shops to buy either console right now, because the games aren't there yet. And as we tiptoe towards E3, word on the street is we're finally going to start hearing about games. Lots of games.
The Xbox One is more affordable than ever, and the Kinect isn't dead, but its success is entirely connected to the games that come out for it. And in the end, it's all about the games. Good games sell technology, and good games sell consoles. 24 days and counting.
M-O-N-E-Y, make it, take it, save it till you die. The way today's the same view in every eye. You're chasing paper, raise it very high, or you're just getting by. M-O-N-E-Y.
20 seconds, go.
Okay, Amplitude is a Kickstarter for Harmonix, reviving the 2003 franchise that we made for Sony for the PlayStation 2. We want to make it again for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Upres graphics, great new soundtrack, killer gameplay experience from beat match controller-based gameplay. Really got to back it. It's a passion project for us. We need your money to make the game. Please help us. Harmonixmusic.com/amplitude.
You got 3 seconds
Oh my
left.
God!
Keep going.
Please do it right now. I'm gonna drink this Diet Coke. Oh, give us money. We need money really bad.
And go in a circle. Think about that as I rap the verse. Look at man like Mace, he should go back to church. Everybody wants to get in the scene, but when I go to sleep, I don't have the American dream. My eyes ain't green. You do what you gotta do. I don't watch that. Ain't got time to keep clocking you. No pay when I'm tearing a jam, but I know one day I'll be able to take